Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children 18 plus. You are tuned in to the Loan Officer Podcast with me, Dustin Owen, and an extremely special guest. This has been 1 year in the making. By way of South Carolina, today he is an Orlando, Florida resident. He started his career as a mortgage loan originator. He attained his CMB. He moved up the ranks to mortgage executive before he moved on to his life's passion. That is being the founder and CEO of NAMMBA. NAMMBA is the National Association of Minority Mortgage Bankers of America. He is the one, the only, Tony Thompson. Tony, finally, welcome to TLOP, homie. Great to have you in the studio.
Hey, Dustin, man, I'm excited to be in the city. Beautiful, my home, Orlando, Florida, man. What's up, brother?
Yeah, so you had lived in Orlando. That's when I first met you. Like, you and I were slinging loans back in the early 2000s.
Exactly.
And then you were running a branch, and I finally got my opportunity to run a branch. Then you moved to Atlanta.
Yep.
And then back to Orlando.
Love the palm trees, man. It's all about the palm trees here.
Yeah, but you're originally from South Carolina.
Originally from South Carolina, grew up in a small city called 96, right next to 95.
No way. The city's
Absolutely.
called 96.
96,
right
man.
next to 95.
Next to 95.
What was the closest big city?
Closest big city, I grew up a Tiger. So
Okay.
Clemson University up in Greenville, South Carolina, in the
Yes.
upstate, man. Grew up near 45 minutes north of Clemson.
Okay, very cool. Yeah, I actually have some loan originators. Shout out to Nicole Munnerlin,
Okay.
Nicole Robinson, Tim Munnerlin.
Yeah.
They are in Greenwood, South Carolina.
Dude, Greenwood is 9 miles from 96.
Okay, so then the Munnerlins know where 96 is.
Absolutely.
Okay, the closest I have gotten to Greenwood is I had the opportunity to go to Augusta this year for the Masters. Thank you, Arch MI, by the way, for that. That was a really cool experience. But yeah, I've not made it up there yet. I keep on wanting to. They keep on bragging about how beautiful Greenville is and how, quaint Greenwood is. So hopefully I'll be able to make a market trip sometime soon.
Dude, when you go through Greenwood, just drive 9 miles south and you'll go through the 2 red lights that's known as 96. But I guarantee you one thing, you stop in 96 and you just say, hey, I know Tony Thompson. I'm pretty sure you'll make sure you get taken care of, man.
Oh,
that's
I would
nothing
do
like
that.
home, man.
Yeah. And actually, isn't it J Tony Thompson?
J Tony
I'll throw
Thompson.
the J in there. It'll be fancy. I'll put the
yeah.
pinky up. That'd be fantastic. I'm going to be in Charlotte. That's North Carolina.
Yeah.
That's on the border, right? Charlotte's right on the border of North and South Carolina.
Just an hour and a half.
I'll be up there August 24th. My friends at Rosegate Mortgage are throwing a 4-hour LO sales mastermind event.
Sweet.
And yours truly gets to MC it.
Hey.
Yeah, I'm going to present. I'm going to MC it. I'm going to bring some of my favorite keynote speakers. They're going to fly in one of their favorite keynote speakers from United Wholesale. So we got people coming down from Michigan, people coming up from Florida. We're going to meet in the middle in Charlotte, and we're going to do it at a brewery. Because who doesn't like to have a nice IPA after networking with a bunch of other industry professionals and learning tips, tricks, and best practices that are currently being deployed by today's top producers.
There we go, man.
So I will be flying, therefore I will not have an opportunity to stop by 96. But eventually I'll make my way. I'll be sure to drop your name so I get taken care of.
Absolutely.
Now, I wanted you to come on the show a year ago because I love your mission. I love everything NAMMBA's doing. I've been involved off and on since like the jump. I'm talking like Delilah, me, Toby, from the jump. And it helps say, yeah, you're based in Orlando, I'm based in Orlando, so it makes it pretty easy. So I do want you to talk today, plug NAMMBA, plug your big event that's going to happen in September. I think it was September 14th
through the 16th.
Yep, it's called Connect, by the way, y'all. NAMMBA Connect. If you want more details, really simple. I've been pushing and pimping out this brand new website we launched. It's Branch Manager in a Box for all of you mortgage professionals.
I love it, by the way, man. I just saw that this morning. Dude,
Thank you.
Hey, here's a little joke for you.
Okay.
Not a joke, but actually, seriously. When I came to see you this morning, I rung the bell, and I said, I'm Tony Thompson. I'm here. I want to apply for being a mortgage originator. I'm ready to go back to the origination, man. This is the time to become an originator right now in our industry.
And we're going to talk about that.
Love that.
And if you're just getting started and you're struggling with closing 4 to 5 loans a month, y'all, we have your solution. Literally. tloponline.com, TLOP online.com.
Love it.
And then on that website, go to the homepage. If you scroll down, you'll see where are we going to be next.
Yeah.
Well, right there, you look, NAMMBA Connect. We're going to be there in September. Click the link if you want to register, you want to attend. Check it out. Look at the conference. Look at the speakers. Look at the schedule.
Yeah.
And I'm sure you'll talk a little bit more about it later on in the show. But early on, I want people to know that there is an event. It is in September.
Yeah.
We will be there. Like John and I from TLOP will be there. I believe we're going to be actually recording episodes
Live
from
streaming
the event. And I want to participate because I love conferences. I like the networking that comes along with it. And you can see all the details just by going to tloponline.com. But you're here today. You want to talk about the Great Reset.
Yeah.
And I want to explore that thought with you. And this is going to be very kind of geeked out for our real estate and mortgage professionals.
Yeah.
Right? The Great Reset, the way that you present it, is specifically an opportunity for those that are in real estate as well as in real estate finance.
Absolutely.
All right. Talk about that. What does the Great Reset mean to you?
Well, first of all, one thing I want everyone to know about NAMMBA, when you hear National Association Minority Mortgage Bankers of America, you hear Mortgage Bankers of America. But what they don't know, or maybe they need to know, is understand, as you and I, Justin, NAMMBA's for everybody. At the end of the day, my whole goal and passion is to help connect people, give them the training, education, and most importantly, connect them to the great resources like yourself, like TLOP, so that they can make a difference in their community, whether it's in 96 or Chi-Town or the Queen City, Charlotte, North Carolina. Whether you're black, white, green, or yellow, it doesn't matter. It's all about getting the tools and resources that you need so that you can just not survive, but thrive, and at the same time make a difference in the community that you live in. So when I talk about NAMMBA, long story short, it's hard to buy a URL these days without paying $50,000. So you have to keep doing those strokes. But at the end of the day, really, I like to say NAMMBA's for everyone, because all we are focused on is just helping to connect people, train, educate, and develop. That's it.
Yes. And I would say #truth, #facts. And by the way, yes, this pasty pale, bald, white dude, yeah, all in on NAMMBA. Yeah. All in. Absolutely love it. I love the mission, and it is for everybody. But I do love the fact that you are spotlighting one of the greatest opportunities in our industry, one of our greatest opportunities for all of the customers and communities we serve as industry professionals. And that is making sure that we are serving the future of our country, the future of our industry, because the future of our country and the future of our industry is very diverse.
Yes.
It is extremely diverse, and it's a matter of, like, are you putting blinders on?
Yeah.
Or are you taking those blinders off and being receptive, head on a swivel for my football players, because there's opportunities in this diversity. So,
well, I like to say, when we build stronger communities, we build stronger cities. When we build stronger cities, we build a stronger country. And so at NAMMBA, putting people in homes, one home at a time, one block at a time, one zip code, is just helping all of our cities that we each live in become stronger, and helping our country become stronger. Because who doesn't want to grow up in a home, man? Everybody.
Yeah.
Most people you talk to in America, they want to own a home. They want something better for their child and their children and themselves to pass down and leave a generation. That's what this is about.
You know what I love about leaders like you, and I'm thinking of others right now, like this mission that you are on board with is like speaks to my heart, right? Speaks to my heart, to my soul. But I started thinking about my friends. Like, just had Dave Savage on with Mortgage Coach.
Yeah,
but,
shout out to
but
Dave.
Yeah, First Home IQ, right? He has a similar mission. We should make sure we all run in parallel together. Our friend Brian Young, Brian's been on the show twice now. His product, Home Lending Pal, if you are a consumer, check out his product, especially if you are a consumer who's maybe younger in life, younger in your career, you're just getting started. But if you're a C-level executive running a mortgage company, running a bank, running a credit union, check out his product. And Tony, I can't believe you and Brian, you don't think are connected. We have to change that.
We got to make sure.
We have to, Brian, you're going to be getting a text. By the time you hear this, you'd have already gotten the text where I'm like, Brian, Tony, Brian, we need to go grab lunch one day.
And I need to stay home in Orlando more.
Well, yeah, but that's the problem. You're always on the road spreading your mission. Brian's always on the road spreading his mission, but y'all's missions align. So we need to make that connection one day, Tony.
Absolutely.
But let's jump into it, to the Great Reset.
The Great Reset is real simple, man. If you're a real estate practitioner or you're a real estate lender, a mortgage originator, mortgage broker, mortgage banker, we are in a moment right now where the next top producers, the next originators that can really elevate and impact their communities are going to be made over the next 3 to 5 years. And the reason why I say we're in what I call the Great Reset is tomorrow's customers are not yesterday's customers. Over the last 3 years, Dustin, we financed and refinanced anyone and everyone who could be financed. And so if you're a lender today, and most LOs are looking at their pipeline and saying, where am I going to go get the business to be able to elevate my goals, to be able to achieve my goals and dreams, and to make money? It is in what I call the multicultural market. Single females, millennials, communities of color, Asian, Latino, African American, Native American, etc., and the LGBTQ. Those 4 segments for the next decade, if I'm an originator, black, white, green, yellow, in between, that's where I would be looking at my business and saying, how can I go deep in 1 or 2 of those areas to ultimately position myself as the CEO of my market? That is the Great Reset, because everyone on Scotsman, every top producer, we all are starting from zero. Nobody's turning over and refinancing their current customers
No,
from 2021.
Very few.
That's not happening.
No.
So that means there's a new market, there's a new opportunity, and every lender, every originator, every real estate agent, they're all on the same starting page.
You know, it's interesting when you share all that, like my brain just jumps into one of my favorite lifeisms, right? This is a quote that was shared with me actually by a COO in the mortgage industry, a graduate of the MBA's Future Leader program, just a guy that I respect and admire a lot of. His name is Rich Tucker, and he has it on his wall. Nothing changes if nothing changes. I share that with myself when I'm talking to the mirror. I share that with my 15-year-old daughter. I share it with college students that I mentor as a way of saying, look, if you don't like the results you're achieving, whether it's in the sport you play, whether it's in your mental health, your physical health, your financial health, you can't consistently do the same behaviors and expect a different result. But how about this? On that same notion of nothing changes if nothing changes, let's say you love the way you are. You feel like you're dialed in. But you know what? Your environment is changing. Your the target is being moved. Well, then if you consistently stay the same while everything else is changing, you're not adapting. So now nothing changes if nothing changes. You have to constantly be in flux and in growth so that you can stay ahead of the curve or stay with the times. If not, the times are going to pass you.
Well, Dustin, great point, because one of the things I always talk about when I'm out in the marketplace is I give an analogy. That's where we are today when you think about our industry. And when I always say, yesterday's bars are not tomorrow's bars. And you know, there's a great hockey player by the name of Wayne Gretzky. And you know,
the millennials may or may not know who that is.
May not, but look him up.
The Gen Xers. Wait, is it Z or X? What is it? Z that came after millennial?
Yes.
They have no idea. Go to Google, look him up.
Wayne Gretzky, one of the greatest hockey players of all time. When he was reflecting on his career, a reporter said, "Wayne, when you look back over your career, what do you attribute your success to?" Wayne simply stated, "I always skated to where the puck was headed and not where it's at." And so many originators, so many real estate agents right now are stuck on going back to the old playbook of what they did pre-pandemic and trying to implement that when the consumer of tomorrow, they communicate differently. They connect differently. They're on different platforms, which, by the way, if you want to connect with me, go to Tony Thompson on MySpace.com. You see what I'm saying? Who's on MySpace? But
is it even available? Like, can you actually log into a MySpace account? That would be crazy.
I saw an AOL.com the other day, so it's still around.
I always cringe when I see an AOL.com because I just think that's going to go into spam. That's going to go right into junk.
But if you think about what we just did and what we just said around the platform, if you're on one platform and your market is in a totally different platform, how will you ever connect? How will they ever know about you?
Yeah. You need to diversify. Like think of your own personal portfolio.
Yeah.
Right. When you get started, your diversification may be pretty simple. No credit card debt, 6 months reserve, and I'm into my 401k. But if you just stay there, that's good, but that doesn't get you to great.
Yeah.
Great means, let me introduce an IRA. Let me introduce maybe a managed investment account.
Yep.
Maybe I want to do a little bit in crypto. I want to do a little bit of angel investing. Maybe I want to do a little bit of real estate. I think your sales approach has to be the same thing. There's something to be said about if it's new, it's not true. If it's true, it's not new. Like there's the tried and true, but the tried and true might not be able to get you where you want to go. You have to be skating, as Wayne Gretzky said, to where the puck is going. And that needs to be embracing other communities, other styles of communicating, etc.
Well, again, here's the moment. The question is, if I were to say, Dustin, there's a market with a 53% upside opportunity, is that a market that you'd be interested in?
All day. In multiple industries, not just mortgage and real estate, but yes, 53% upside. What is that market?
That's the Latino market. If I were to
Okay.
say, Dustin, there's a market with a 57% upside opportunity, is that a market you'd be interested in doing business?
All day, every day.
The African-American black consumer. And so my whole point is we as an industry have to understand that there are markets out there that not are underserved. I like to say, Dustin, they're not served.
Yeah.
And for the originators that can understand how to connect, how to build trust, and how to serve those markets by connecting with them where they are and not where the originator or the lender is, those are going to be the individuals that will not just survive, but will thrive. Hence is why I say we're in the middle of a great reset.
Yeah. And I will double down and even encourage, especially the originator, but also the real estate agents out there and every vendor that supports these two, right? That's the title companies, the insurance agencies. It starts with education.
Yep.
You're going to build trust by investing into these people's, these communities' understanding of what we know really well.
Yeah.
Right. So you start there and then you build this following.
Yeah.
And it's going to be everything from doing community events to being active on social media to getting into the schools and being a part of the curriculum because those 17-year-olds, they have parents.
Yes.
And those 17-year-olds will come home and they'll talk to their parent about what they learned that day. And it may very well be your next borrower that reaches out.
Well, Dustin, you just hit on something that when I speak to mortgage brokers and originators across the country, part of this great reset is also me helping to understand that they've got to pivot their mindset as well as their business model. And what I mean by that is if you, as a sales originator, it's all about a funnel, right? The more people I have coming into my funnel, pre-app, conversions, taking the app, ultimately getting down to closing that loan, right? And then, post-marketing to them with a great CRM. But the last 3 years, you didn't have to worry about building a funnel. As we move forward, the next 3 to 5 years, most loan originators will have to truly understand they are going to need to connect and engage and put more people in their funnel. And instead of selling rate, selling closing costs, selling speed to close, they've got to focus on educating. Mm-hmm. So they've got to pivot. The last 24 or 36 months, we were selling. Now we must pivot from sell to educate. I tell people all the time, sell, educate, educate, educate. Because the new consumer, single females, which, by the way, are enrolling in college at a rate of 2 to 1 than men.
Wow.
So over the next 3 to 5 years, who do you think are going to be buying the most first-time homes? And by the way, if you're a loan originator, let me chunk this down. You do business with a single female at the age of 23, you're guaranteed 3 transactions. At the age of 23, at the age of 27 or 28, when they finally meet the love of their life. Because remember, if single females are enrolling at 2 to 1 than men, there are not too many boys going to be going to college finding the love of their life. Not too many women coming out finding the love of their life. So they're going to buy that single home because they have the capacity, the credit. They're going to get married. That's going to be the second home. And then we all know if you've been in the mortgage industry, what goes up comes down. you got a third transaction of a refinance. So in less than a decade, with one single female, you have 3 transactions.
And I would say minimal 3.
Multiply that.
Yes.
And then multiply that 10x if they have friends, which they do, that are not on MySpace, but they're on Instagram, they're on TikTok, they're on Twitter, and they will be your biggest brand. So one of the things that's important that loan officers understand is they are going to need to cultivate more potential borrowers through education versus selling to them. Because this new segment, women, millennials, communities of color, LGBTQ, they all have never bought a home. And most importantly, unfortunately, they don't trust loan originators. Every year we do a survey over at Cultural Outreach, shout out to which is NAMMBA's multicultural marketing arm. We interview 1,000 millennials. We're doing 2,000 this year. And what those millennials tell us is only 47%, Dustin, trust that their mortgage originator is doing the right thing. That's why that CMB, certified mortgage banker on your pen and eyewear, that's what it's all about for me. It's making sure people know that we're committed to doing the right thing, to being a mortgage planner, to helping build generational wealth. But 47% of millennials, today's buyers, tomorrow's buyers, don't trust you or I as a lender. So that means you got to focus on educate before you even start selling.
You know, I actually love the studies that you all produce through Cultural Outreach. And I remember reading, it's probably about a year ago now, that yes, the millennials, and then in the future, the Gen Zers, right? Because Gen Zers, the average age of a first-time homebuyer is 33. So the Gen Zers aren't close to 33 yet, but their brains are getting to that point where they're starting to think about getting married, having a family, moving on from their first career opportunity, their second career opportunity, eventually buying a house. But what I loved about a report that you all produced that I read was something along these lines. I'm going to paraphrase, and please correct me if I got it wrong, but I remember reading as this: they will start online, but they don't want to finish online. They're going to spot check you. They're going to do the sniff test to make sure you're somebody they want to talk to by checking you out online. But at some point, they will want to Zoom with you, FaceTime with you, or even meet you face to face. They want to feel you. They want to touch you. They want to know that you're human and that you care, because this is a big decision for them. And I think that's powerful because there was a time that we felt like, oh, we used to do everything face to face. And that's how I was trained. Hey, Todd Duncan, right?
Absolutely.
We were talking about Todd Duncan off the air, the Godfather. He helped mold and shape so many of us. And it was that high trust selling and getting face to face and belly to belly. And the millennials and the Gen Zers are saying, yeah, we want face to face and belly to belly. But after I kind of stalked you online, let me stalk you online, then we slide over. And that's maybe part of that, the great reset, that we all can figure out what's tried and true. Let's continue to do that. But we have to adapt to what's modern and follow where the puck is going.
Well, what millennials and Gen Z are saying, which, by the way, 30% of Gen Zers right now own a home. So
what is that age bracket? Do you recall?
So you're on the Gen Zers, you're more of that 17 to like 24, 25. They're right behind the millennials as it relates to, looking at their buying patterns, right? But what most people don't understand is that on the Gen Z side, there's a tremendous desire to own homes, just like there are in millennials, which, by the way, there are 40-something million millennials that are eligible this next decade to buy a home between 27 and 38, 39. One of the most important things that LOs have to be looking at, or real estate practitioners, is we're going back to the education piece. They don't know what they don't know. And so before they get to know you, they want to get to know you. And they will get to know you by what you give them. If you're not giving them content, if you're not giving them education, if you're not showing them a roadmap, then they won't trust you. Therefore, they won't engage with you, and they won't do business. They'll swipe to the next lender, right?
Yes, and on top of that, if you're not showing them who you are as a human, you have to get a human element in there. I mean, why does reality TV work so well? Why? Because the viewer gets a sense that they get to know that particular person. Why does talk radio work so well? Because you feel like you know those characters that are on talk radio. It's every reason why JC and I make sure on this show, yes, we blow through the first 3 to 7 minutes talking life, chopping it up. But the goal is we want our audience to know us as humans, as well as know us as subject matter experts in whatever it is that we speak on.
Yeah.
And that's something that I try to ask sales professionals, entrepreneurs, and business owners. Like, look, you need to educate. You need to put out content that attracts people to you. But at the same time, don't forget to be a human and be willing to show them a human element. So like, I did this just Monday. I played hooky on Monday.
There we go.
My son's going off to college, drove down to Jupiter, Florida.
Congratulations.
Hooked up with, it's pretty awesome. It's going to be another UCF night in the house, so we're super stoked about that. But we drove down to Jupiter where a good buddy of mine, Corey Johnson, he's a mortgage dude, top producer. Shout out to Corey. He has this awesome boat, and we got to fish all day Sunday, all day Monday.
Sweet.
I made sure that I posted. I didn't post about mortgages that day or budgeting or the rule of 72 or buying real estate. No. My buddy Rob, who went with us, took the most amazing video of us playing with sharks. So if you go to my Instagram right now, which is at the Loan Officer Podcast, you'll see this reel that I posted, which is essentially us taking a bonita, which is like a garbage fish, tying it onto a rope and dangling it into the water and letting the sharks come and feast on it.
Love it.
Yeah. And it's like I did that purposefully. One, because I thought it was a cool video. But two, because I want people to see me other than the mortgage dude or the podcast guy. I'm like, no, I'm a dad. I'm a husband. I'm a triathlete. I love to fish. I love the Atlanta Braves. I'm more than just that, because I think people want to see that. They connect with that. And all of a sudden, it's like, oh, you're a human. I'm like, heck yeah, I'm a human. I bleed. I make mistakes. I learn from those mistakes. I cry. I worry. But I happen to be really good at mortgages and real estate. So yes, if you're in need, you should call me because I can relate to you and I can take care of you.
That's the other thing I would say, that when you think about looking at how do you build a pipeline, how do you build a funnel. I was in California a couple weeks ago, shout out to Golden State Finance, doing a seminar for those guys, met a 62-year-old originator, female. And she was like, Tony, I'm so shy, but you've been talking about we got to get out there and just educate. And I said, look, Sally, all you got to do, you've got 25, 30 years of mortgage experience, but it's all up here in your mind, in your head. And tomorrow's consumer, today's consumer, they don't know that. The only way you can show them is just get out there and talk and be yourself. Just talk like you're talking to me and chunk down what APR is, what DTI is, what does FICO mean? Because these guys don't know. And if you do that, you first show that you're human. Secondly, you show that you are a subject matter expert and that they can trust you. And when they can trust you, they will do business with you. Whether you're black, white, green, or yellow, doesn't matter.
Yeah. How about this as motivation? I'm going to try to hit someone right in the heart. All is a very strong word. I try to stay away from words like all or never. Yeah. But many of us, as we age, we start sitting back and we start pondering the purpose of life. Yeah. And some people think they have it figured out. Others, i.e. me, have no freaking clue. Yeah. Right? My purpose of life is to try to have fun, try to contribute to the society that I'm a part of, and be a good person. Yeah. But this little thing called legacy keeps on coming up in conversations. What's my legacy? Yeah. What am I going to leave behind? You know what's really cool about the technology age that we live in? That lady Sally, that if I was speaking to her, I'm like, Sally, how cool would it be? Because more than likely her life will expire in the next 20 to 30 years, just statistically.
Yep.
Statistically, that's going to happen. She has an opportunity right now to make a decision on whether or not her legacy lasts 2 decades or 10 decades, all because will she be willing to put those thoughts, those ideas, and those experiences on audio and video?
Yes.
That is the one thing that I never did this purposefully, but looking back after 3.5 years of recording 300 plus episodes of a podcast, if something unfortunate happened to me, I fell off a cliff, I died on impact. You know what's really cool about my kids especially, and my future grandkids? They can kind of get a sense of who I am if they go to that library that's hosted on YouTube, Spotify, and Apple, and they tune in. So now I'm thinking when I'm coaching loan originators or other entrepreneurs and sales professionals, and I want to hit them in the heart, I want to ask them, what's your legacy? And are you doing everything to make sure your legacy outlives what it typically does. Because typically you think about my grandmother passed,
Yeah.
at which point I have maybe 20 years of memories. My kids have never met her. By the time I pass, those memories are now gone.
Yeah.
But what if she could have recorded her voice, her image, her thoughts, her experience, and hosted it on a platform called the internet? You know, it's like all of a sudden like, wow. And then if what you're posting was insightful, empowering, educational, you have literally taken now your life and you have extended it 20, 30, 40 years, which meant now your legacy grows deeper, it grows wider.
Yeah.
So if you're afraid of becoming modern, don't be afraid, because what you're doing is cutting yourself short, and you're cutting all those future people's opportunity to learn from you short because you weren't willing to record your experiences, your thoughts, and your ideas.
I often say the ability to impact, never underestimate your ability to impact people's lives. And one of the greatest things that I love about the origination business that I'm sure you respect as well, Dustin, is it doesn't matter if you grew up in 96 or Orlando, Florida, you can impact someone's life, not just for one time, but for decades, through generational wealth, through multiple transactions of being that trusted advisor. And so I think now's a really great moment that I'm asking every LO, why are you in the business still?
Mm-hmm.
Why are you in the business today? Because if you don't love it, if you're not passionate about it, if you don't think that over the next 3 to 5, 10 years, whatever that time frame is, that you can make a big difference, then get out.
Yes.
But if you do, then reignite the fire. Go back to your why you started, because that's what the Great Reset is all about right now. It is going back to the core essence of your why, and then using your why to understand how to pivot, to serve and support this new market, which, by the way, they're not like you. So don't give them what you want, give them what they want.
The platinum rule versus the golden rule, right? Golden rule is do unto others as you want done to you. The platinum rule is do unto others as they want done to them.
Absolutely, brother.
Yes, the platinum rule, and yes, this is a career. This is not a job. I'm talking to mortgage loan originators right now. Mortgage loan originators, professional real estate agents. It is a career, not a job. The Great Reset is your opportunity when you discover that why. The way I hear you present it, Tony, I'm hearing, I need to sit down, have a conversation with that man or woman in the mirror and say, why am I doing this? Am I approaching it like it's a career? I'm going to become my community lending expert.
Exactly.
Or am I just approaching this as a job? I'm going to punch in, punch out, and figure out where it goes. I have the struggle right now, coaching and inspiring the future of the mortgage industry. And we were talking about this website that we built out, TLOPonline.com. And
I love the website, man.
Thank you.
You showed me that this morning. Listen, I mean, I'm just saying, I really do want to apply to be originator again now.
Hey, all the tools you need, all the access,
man.
Coaching, marketing ideas, training videos, it's all there. But something that we're getting from these originators that are like, oh man, it's $14.95 for the entire year. I don't know if I can afford that. And I have to pause and I have to ask them, how could you not? Meaning, are you already generating 20 to 30 leads a month? Nope. If you're not, I'm going to ask you, how could you not invest in your career and your future success? If you're not already funding 4 to 5 loans a month, then you're not achieving what we deem as to be good in this industry. Then how could you not? And $14.95 for most of y'all, that's one half of one commission on one loan, and hopefully you're trying to close 36 to 56 loans a year minimally. But people, I think they approach it with a job mindset and not a career mindset. They haven't refocused on their why yet.
You know, one of the things, going back to my roots and when we started originating, I got into this business, you talked about it, through a guy by the name of Todd Duncan. And I remember my first sales mastery back in 1997, 98.
Was it still in Palm Desert back then?
It was about Palm Desert, baby. Palm Desert. And I walked into that ballroom of 1,500 producers that were doing way more than Tony Thompson from 96, South Carolina. I can promise you that. But one of the things I took away from that first experience of being in what I call the NBA, I was in the B leagues, but when I stepped into that room where you had people doing back then $100 million,
Wow.
$70 million in 97 and 98, that's a lot of loans, a lot of volume. One of the things I remember Todd said, and I stuck with me to this day, is you must invest in you. Over the weekend, I read an article, Warren Buffett, 13 things that people must do today. The first thing that he listed that they must do in today's environment, invest in themselves. That's what this is all about right now. If you're an originator, if you're a real estate practitioner, if you're a leader, you must invest in yourself, because let's be honest, every day is not beautiful. Every day is not a 5-star day. But if you invest in yourself, you invest in your business, which is, by the way, no matter if you work for a bank, a non-bank, or you're a broker, you are still the CEO.
You are.
Of your own business.
Yes, sir.
And at the end of the day, CEOs, they invest in themselves to elevate their performance, to enhance their knowledge and their skill set, and then most importantly, to make a difference. And so I want to challenge people to invest in themselves. That's one of the reasons, I'm going to do a little plug here. I don't do too many plugs, but that's one of the reasons right now at NAMMBA Connect, Dustin, we've got to focus, and we've got actually an exclusive offer that if a loan officer just purchased their ticket today for $395, their first night room is on me.
Wow.
At the JW Marriott, which goes for $450 a night. And the reason why I did that was real simple. 2 weeks ago, I sent an email to a guy in San Diego, and he said, Tony, I would love to come, Latino LO, but I don't have enough money. And right then and there, it hit me, and I said, wow, how many more originators are feeling like they don't have enough money? How many more originators want to come or know they need to come and know they need to invest in themselves? I said, you know what? Nothing should be free, but I'm going to make sure I give any person who wants to turn their business around and be in a room with people like yourself, be in the room with the GSEs, be in a room with people who are originating and performing at a high level that they aspire to. If they invest in themselves and they take one step, I'm going to take one step.
You're going to meet them in the middle.
I'm going to meet them in the middle.
Yeah, that's a phenomenal offer. So if you didn't hear that, if you sign up for NAMMBA Connect to come as a participant, you pay your $395.
First night.
First night at hotel on Tony.
On me.
On Tony. That's fabulous. And by the way, this event, so my CMB mentor, the guy that I look up to the most as a mortgage professional, is at this event, Dave Stevens.
Hey.
Dave Stevens is going to be at this event. My buddy KP.
Oh, my boy.
PRMG,
yeah.
right? Hey, if you're not following KP on LinkedIn, you need to.
Yeah.
It's Kevin. I'm going to butcher his last name.
Peranio.
Yeah. Kevin Peranio. He helps run a PRMG's retail division.
Yep.
Right. So Kevin's going to be speaking. Dave Stevens is going to be in there. People from the GSEs. Rob Chrisman's going to be there. Well, I got to get Rob on the show.
Rob's going to be
I have not had Rob on the show. Is Casey coming down from Atlanta?
I don't think Casey's going to be here this year.
Oh, man. I was hoping she was, because she and I have been playing tag for the past 2 years. Kind of like you and I have been playing tag, trying to get you on the show.
Exactly.
She's one of those, like Casey Cunningham with Xenix and Shayla Gifford with Guild.
Yep.
We have standing dates that we are going to do a show together.
Well, Guild's going to be in the house, so hopefully Shayla may be there, man.
Yeah, Shayla is phenomenal.
Great.
If you don't know Shayla Gifford, you should look her up, Tony, because she is someone that you would love to be carrying that NAMMBA flag with you. But yeah, y'all, conferences is a great way to invest in yourself, just like CRMs are a great way to invest in yourself. MBS Highway is a great way to invest in yourself. FinLocker is a great way to invest in yourself. Knowledge Coop, like there's tons of resources, and you can't pick them all, right? Sales Mastery, great way to invest in yourself.
Well, you know, what I say about NAMMBA is not a conference. It's an experience.
I love that.
It's an experience. Dude, we have people come from Idaho.
I'm going to Idaho next month.
Great city.
I'm going from NAMMBA to Idaho.
But
actually
why?
To Boise.
Why would they come from Idaho to NAMMBA? Because of the experience. because of the connections, because of the ability to hear and speak with the You want to know where our industry is headed from a regulatory? We've got the GSCs, we've got the CFPB, we've got the people who impact your future. And not at most conferences, you don't get to talk to them. You listen, but you can't talk to them. At our conference, you get to walk up and ask them questions. You get to have those conversations so that you understand the insights of how you need to look at and plan where the market is headed so that you can pivot and adjust your business. And so I always say, I wanted NAMMBA to be that whether you're black, white, green, gay, straight, in between, male, female, it doesn't matter. If you came to NAMMBA, you would enjoy being there because everybody is there for one reason: to elevate their career, to learn best practices, and to connect with each other.
Yep. Hence the name.
It's the name.
NAMMBA Connect. It's an experience.
It's an experience.
And yes, that is a way you can invest in yourself, right? Just the networking alone.
Oh,
the
man.
networking alone, let alone the tie downs and takeaways that you'll get from the various speakers or the opportunity to get FaceTime.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm a big fan. I think every loan originator should attend at least one, if not two, events like yours on an annual basis. One could be the one that their company puts on, and one could be an outside organization. I believe they need to be coached, whether you're coached by your branch manager or one of your regionals, or you seek coaching outside. You should be introduced to the thoughts and the ideas and the patterns that are followed by the most successful.
Yeah.
And I also believe you can't do it all. Like, I'm a huge proponent of CRM.
Yep.
I mean, whether it's ADM, whether it's Jungo, whether it's Total Expert, it doesn't matter. To me, the best CRM is the one that somebody uses. However, if you're not yet generating 20 to 30 leads per month, if you don't currently have 100 realtors in your database, if you don't have any past clients, you probably don't need a CRM. But what you do need is someone to teach you who to call on, what to say, how to track your activity, etc. Right? For us over at TLOP Online, we want to help every originator who is currently not funding 4 to 5 loans a month. We want to help them get to the point where they need a CRM, when they need MBS Highway, when they can afford Mortgage Coach. Like, that's what we're trying to do. And then I want to push them to be involved in NARREP, NAMMBA, MBA, the National Association of Mortgage Professionals. Like, be involved in your trade organizations, Women's Council of Realtors, you know, all the various NAR, right? Like, there's so many different trade organizations. Housing Wire. Like, y'all need to be following these industry advocates, because it's going to make you a better professional. If you're a better professional, that comes across to the communities you serve.
Well, you know, Justin, you know, and then again, this is not a plug for TLOP, but this is a plug for TLOP because I just saw this thing this morning when I walked in, and I'm gonna go. I put myself in that shoe when I was seeing the platform. I said to myself, "Wow, T, if you would have had this 20 years ago, how could you have elevated your business?" Right now, loan originators have an opportunity to connect to platforms like TLOP and others, but that gives them a one-stop shop with the tools, the resources they need for $14.95. Here's the deal. You know, we're sitting here on the table, they can't see, but I drink Starbucks 7 times a day. I spend at least $200 a month on Starbucks. Matter of fact, when I leave here, I'm so glad you got a Starbucks
right next to the
When I pulled in the parking lot, I was like, look, I'm going to do this podcast, but it's about to go down at Starbucks. I can't wait to get to my Starbucks right next door. But just think about it. For the cost of a cup of coffee, a venti cup of coffee, you can elevate your business. You can learn, you can grow, and you can impact. And that's what I love about the platform that you guys are building out, is that it could take that Tony Thompson, like me 20 years ago, and help expedite their impact in their local markets.
That's, you know, our friends are at Growth Only Coaching, Justin and Amir. You need to connect with those two dudes also. And they're in Florida now, by way of Chicago. But it was Justin who, over lunch one day, just kind of put it in words that made sense to me. He said, look, I can spend 2 years trying to figure this out. At which point, I may run through savings. I may run through all the energy that I have to give to this business idea or this particular concept that I'm trying to prove.
Yeah.
Or I could invest a little bit of money in shave that time frame from 24 months down to 6 months or 24 months down to 12 months. And now I have more money and I have more bandwidth or more energy to apply to it. It's like, look, none of us have made it successful in life and in business by ourselves.
Absolutely.
At home, I have a wife. My wife is my partner.
Yeah.
Meaning, if she wasn't supporting me, I couldn't have done all the things in business I've ever wanted to do.
There we go.
And in business, I not only have partners, but I've also had conferences and coaching that I've invested in, books I've read. So yes, I'm a huge proponent that y'all, all of us, need to be investing ourselves. And yes, $14.95 for a year, or even, look, if you didn't want a premium plus, we probably have a $99 a month option for you. And here's something I want to throw out your way. If you love this website as much as you say you do, and by the way, I haven't paid Tony yet for his endorsement. So right now, this is genuine.
Hey,
but
this
let
is
me ask
all
you this.
real.
I would like to work with you in your Connect experience.
Yes.
Those that attendees.
Yeah.
How about we find a way to? I might not be able to do a full premium plus, but what if we gave away 3 premium memberships? That's $99 a month.
Yeah.
The difference between premium and premium plus is the premium plus comes with a complimentary membership to Knowledge Coop Plus, which includes all of their CE for the year, which also comes with discounts with some of my favorite vendors.
Great.
And that's like over $5,000 worth of value. So because of those partnerships, I don't have the ability to just give away a premium plus membership, but I could give away 2 or 3 annual $99 a month premium memberships. That still gets them the coaching, still gives them the training videos, still gives them access to the message board and all of the tools, trackers, and guides.
Love that.
And let's find a way to give that away to the participants at NAMMBA Connect, and we'll do 3 of them.
Oh man, that's, somebody's life is getting ready to change.
Hopefully.
Somebody's business is getting ready to elevate.
Yep.
And so for me, that's what this is about, man. I saw that this morning, and I'm like, oh man, this is what I needed. And so if you're an originator today, man, you're hearing us talk about tools and resources. You're hearing us talk about the Great Reset. The most important thing you can do right now is invest in you. Mm-hmm. And if they're not familiar with TLOP, I would be getting familiar with TLOP. If they're not, I tell people all the time, you can't afford not to invest in your success right now.
Yes.
Period.
Yep.
You cannot afford not to invest in your success right now, because we are in the midst of a great reset. And the great reset means there will be losers, but there will be winners.
Tons of opportunity.
There will be losers.
Yes.
And there will be winners. You have to decide which one you will be.
Facts. Tony, thank you so much for your time. I want to end it right there. That was phenomenal. That was like you on the pulpit preaching down to the congregation.
Amen.
Loved it. People want to connect with you. Are you a LinkedIn person? Are you a TikTok person? Email? What's your preference for people to connect with Tony Thompson?
Best way to connect with me is J. Tony Thompson on LinkedIn.
Okay.
We're connect with NAMMBA. Hit us up at NAMMBA Connects with an S. So NAMMBA CONNECTS. Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram for sure.
Yeah. Are you on Threads yet?
I'm not, but my team is getting there.
Yeah, I'm getting there too. We're not quite on Threads
my team's
yet.
Getting there.
And they don't let me get on TikTok, but we do have a TikTok account.
There we go.
One day, right? That's life goals. But no, J. Tony Thompson.
That's it.
On LinkedIn is the best way to reach out to connect with Tony. I am first name Dustin, last name Owen on LinkedIn, and we are at the Loan Officer Podcast everywhere else: Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. We even have a LinkedIn account just for the podcast itself.
Yeah.
And then the website that we've been talking about is tloponline.com. The website is much different than the podcast. Podcast is for everybody 18 to 49, where we teach you and introduce you to the concepts and thoughts that weren't necessarily taught at school or talked about at your dinner table. This website, y'all, only for mortgage loan originators. If you're a mortgage sales professional, that's your jam. If you're not, hey, There's other websites out there that cover whatever it is that you do for a living, but that's not for you.
You know, Dave, Justin, we've been having so much fun today. One of the things that, I want to do, man, I know a lot of people may be out there like, okay, Tony, you're talking about this multicultural market, this $2.9 trillion market. How do I connect with them? And so I tell you what, because you got a Starbucks next door, if you invite me back here and after connect, I want to just pour into people around through cultural outreach, the best way to build their brand on social media by becoming a trusted advisor to what we call multicultural marketing on demand. And simply, if you're not thinking about building a platform to educate and distinguish and separate yourself from your competition to connect with today's and tomorrow's buyers, I'm going to show you how to do that, where to do that, and at the end of the day, how to set that up so that people know who you are, what you do, and most importantly, why they should work with you.
Perfect. So let's do that. Let's maybe October, November, bring you back in. We can even title it How to Connect with Tomorrow's Homebuyer.
Boom.
Awesome title. Hopefully get some SEO love from Google. It'll pop, it'll bang, it'll be great. Tony, thank you so much for your time. He's Tony Thompson with NAMMBA. I'm Dustin Owen with the Loan Officer Podcast. That is all the time we have for you today, but we do look forward to catching you on the next episode. Peace.